A corner just got paid. I guess. I mean, $7.5 million is a lot of money. A corner just got picked up and added to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles, if you look at this offseason, hey, big offseason for Coach Sirianni in the entire Fly Eagles Fly bird community over there.
Yeah.
Not only a trade for A.J. Brown on draft night, which is huge. Jalen Hurts and him are going to be hot. Now they actually signed Bradbury, who was released, I believe, from the Giants just like 2 weeks ago out of nowhere. Nobody saw this coming. 2 years ago, had an incredible season. Last season was okay, but the Eagles add, alongside Darius Slay in their backfield, they had offensive weapons. Coach Sirianni gets another year under his belt. Are the birds up to something? Coach Sirianni, whenever you hear that, you know, people are starting to have higher expectations of the Philadelphia Eagles because of the moves that are being made in the offseason, is that something that motivates you and drives you, or does that scare you a little bit? And what do you think about Bradbury as a player, Coach?
No, I don't care about that at all, because last year everyone thought I was a fucking doofus. I almost won Coach of the Year. You know, we went to playoffs, and really, Bradbury's a nice player. He's a great piece. I've said it from the beginning. I'm trying to acquire dogs, okay? And that's what I'm doing. A.J. Brown, he's a dog, okay? Bradbury, he's a dog. I'm a dog. Jalen's a dog. Kelsey's a dog. I mean, I got so many fucking pooches around me that, you know, listen,
starting to look like
it's starting to look like a dog pond, you know? all due respect to Cleveland, but no, I mean, if you could win the offseason, yeah, I've won the offseason.
Well, congratulations, Coach. Coach of the offseason for sure.
Yeah, drafted a couple dogs, nonetheless. Dude,
I am very impressed with the Philadelphia Eagles going all in. And I thought about this as, you know, this news came in this morning. Ownership that gets buried and front office that get buried for stinking, it feels like not every time, but as of late, they're going big plays soon as they can. Miami, I mean, they got buried, killed. They're paying to lose games down there.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to spend money on everybody, everything. We're going to try. They were trying to pull off Brady and Peyton as a head coach and quarterback and give up ownership to do that. I mean, that's fucking massively, hey, we're going all in to try to do this. Roseman and them in Philadelphia have been mocked and ridiculed for the way that team has been run post-Super Bowl. I mean, it was a absolute dumpster fire. Here they're going with Sirianni. It feels like they're trying to go, hey, we're going to make some plays and really try to do this thing. If you're an Eagles fan, you got to be pumped. Years ago, not that many years ago, you're eating horse shit, okay? In the middle of a parade, Super Bowl parade. You're eating right off the fucking ground, having a time of your life. Rocky's looking better than ever. Everything in Philadelphia is coming up like thumbs up. Then the whole place implodes from within itself. Everything has to turn over. This team stinks. Now, Jalen, is he a guy? They seem to think he's a guy. They're bringing in weapons around him. Sirianni seems to not be a complete doofus, like you said. Seems like he's actually got a whole squad rallied around him. And if you listen to what he's saying, although he says it differently than everybody else, there's some good message in there. Philadelphia Eagles are really going for it. And good for Roseman.
Yeah.
Good for Roseman.
Eagles are crushing it. And there's that stat, excuse me, where the NFC East division leader, they've never had a back-to-back in 17 years. So they'll probably do it.
Sigs.
Maybe.
You need that.
Too many packs. Might have brought one home.
You need to cut it off. You need to cut that back.
To your point, and it feels like when Joe Douglas went to the Jets, he got all the credit for what he did with the Eagles and blah, blah, blah. And everyone was calling Howie the accountant, and now he's like, you can count on me to fucking add some dogs.
That was an accountant joke?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
3 years of fucking accounting, okay?
And they have, by the way, counted on Howie Roseman to kind of turn this thing around. They had to take a big leap of faith. Ownership, who owns?
Jed? No.
The Eagles?
Lurie?
Yeah, Jeff Lurie.
So he had the team with literally just Howie Roseman over Doug Peterson, Joe Douglas obviously gone, Carson, everything around Howie was not happy with everything that was going on. Allegedly, we don't know the full story. Will we ever? Probably not, because we don't fucking learn anything anymore about anything until like 15, 20 years later when I'll probably be dead by then, but you boys will be thriving and doing good things. But everything around, so Lurie had to go all in with Howie, and I assume there was times where that was not an easy decision to be made, or necessarily the most favored decision, probably even in Lurie's family and people around him in his circles. Now Howie's really building up a roster. Now, does it mean diddly squat what you do in May? No. Can you win the Super Bowl in May? No. But it feels like they're trying their best to win each month here, making moves, trying to make their team better, filling holes, bringing some, players that are accomplished. I'm happy for the fucking Eagles fans. Like, very, very happy. And if it's anything like Bradley Cooper's little book thing.
Oh, yeah. Silver Lions playbook.
Yeah,
sure.
that one. And that's literally how everybody is everybody I've met from Philly is an Eagles fan is kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of live and die with the birds and the green. Good for them getting what appears to be a team that cares again.
Well, and there's like some teams you can look at even in the past 10 years that have kind of changed. Like the Cardinals weren't always top tier, and it feels like now they've gone all in, went after guys, and kind of turned that whole entire thing around with Kyler and Cliff. I mean, the Chargers even. Like they had Phil Rivers, but they never got over the hump, and now they got Herbert.
And remember, Spanos was getting buried.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're going on. I mean, this feels like it's a thing because you got to remember at the end of the day, humans at the top, which is why I think the Packers need a fucking owner.
Oh, bad.
It's never going to happen, but I mean, I agree with you.
Bradbury going to the Eagles. This continues an offseason where the Philadelphia Eagles are investing in the team. Just a couple years removed from Howie Roseman being like the most hated front office person in a city in which he is a front office of. How do you feel about the move? Do you like this for Bradbury opposite of Slay? What are your entire thoughts on the whole process? And how many teams do you think were interested?
I love the move. I saw a report that said it was 11 teams that were interested. And, the Giants didn't do them any favors, obviously, by releasing them at this point in the year. But, they were doing business on their end, trying to get a trade done, which a lot of teams were in those conversations as well. And last time I was on here, I think that was when the news came out that he was released. But I like him, man. He's still in the prime of his career, I think. He's on a one-year deal, so he'll definitely be motivated to go out there, ball, and get another bag. As you saw, Jair just got paid yesterday in Green Bay, or the other day in Green Bay. So he's motivated. He's on the opposite side of D. Slay. They've had a tremendous offseason all around the Eagles. Got A.J. Brown on draft night. We got Jordan Davis in the first round, and Kobe Dean the third. They've been making Hassan Reddick off the edge. So Roseman, man, he's going all in. And Hurts, they had this team in the playoffs, and nobody had him going into the playoffs last year. So, I mean, might be worth the fly to take them to win that division this year.
Nobody has won back-to-back in the NFC East for the last
17
years. Okay, so that thing's wide open, has been wide open, even though it appears as if one roster is always more stacked than the others every single season.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every single season, the Cowboys are in the Super Bowl
and
have a much better roster. Haven't had back-to-back winners of the NFC East in the last 17 years. So that thing's open. I feel like Sirianni, Roseman, and all of Philadelphia realize that. And the fact that they're going for it, D, but I like. And I started thinking about this. Roseman was getting killed. They go all in. Lurie had to have gone all in with him. Stephen Ross in Miami, they were getting killed. They go all in. You go to, the history. Kroenke, whenever he left St. Louis, went to L.A., got killed, they go all in. It feels like when some of these owners and front office people get, publicly insulted or their fan base is able to reach them and tell them that they hate what they're doing, they answer and they respond by at least trying to go all in. I like that for the NFL, D. But do you sense that? And do you? Yeah,
a lot less patience these days. We were playing, guys would come in and coaches would get a few years to turn things around, quarterbacks. And now, people, it hurts. Tua, if they don't get it done this year, they're out of there. That's kind of the mindset all around, and that's kind of seeped into these buildings, I think. And it depends on everybody's situation. It's always different. The Eagles were able to kind of make a lot of these moves. They still got a quarterback on a rookie deal. Same thing down in Miami. But these teams got to figure it out and figure it out fast. I heard you guys talking about the Giants before I hopped on. They got to figure it out too, because it looks like, Daniel Jones has been playing well. You got Daboll coming over from Buffalo, so they may turn things around there. But I love to see it, man. It's great for NFL fans. This is what we've been doing on Madden our whole life. Go, trade, block it, get it all in here, go up, max the salary cap out, figure it out. So I love to see it, man.
Hey, that was a great out right there. You're right. Yeah. It is, the fantasy football mindset almost. Hey, this roster does not need to remain the same. But I think you have to keep the pillars, right? I think how many core people you think you need to have on offense, defense that you can build around? Is it just positional, or do you think it's actual quantity?
Man, it's position, because as you know, everything is separated. We spend most of our time separated in our individual, silos in our meeting rooms. So you need strong leaderships in those different meeting rooms, and then on the opposite sides of the ball, and then the third phase of the game on the special teams part. So I think you need a special teams ace, someone that keeps everybody going on that side of the ball. and then defensively, offensively, at least 2 or 3 guys. And ultimately, you got your own guys, homegrown, drafted, Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson. You draft those guys,
Jason
you pay
Kelce.
those guys, you keep them in the building, and they kind of pass, the culture down and around the locker room. That's ideally how you want it. Then you get free agent pieces and bring them on, like the Eagles have done this offseason, like the Saints have done, bringing in a guy like Tyrann Mathieu, obviously with championship pedigree, knows the area. Same with Jarvis Landry on the other side. So it's different ways to do it, but when you bring veterans into your locker room, they got to be able to fit in, because there's a lot of egos in that building, as you know. They got to be able to fit into whatever that culture is. Young guys got to be able to step up in leadership roles early. We had Andrew Luck come in. You're your first overall pick. You're the leader. You're one of the captains early. You got to figure it out. It's a locker room with Vinny, with you, with Stanzo, Robert Mathis, Reggie Wayne, and we're looking at a guy, 22, 23 years old to be one of the leaders. So it's tough. But the guys that are making the decisions, men and women that are making the decisions, they got to check all the boxes, make sure they're making the right ones.
Andrew Luck watched Adam Vinatieri kick for the Amsterdam Admirals when he was like 8 years old or something like that. He got like an autograph with him and a whole picture. I think it was like a whole thing that happened. That's why he shouted out Vinny in his like retirement press conference or whatever, because I think he was an actual fan, soccer player, and he met him when he was a kid. I don't know if it was 8. It was definitely when he was a kid though. So then he gets in the locker room, and now Vinny and Luck are like captains. Vinny's 40 years old.
Yeah.
He's 22. And like Luck was a super nice guy, like the nicest guy of all time. I honestly believe too nice of a guy in some situations. In my eyes, to be a quarterback, there were some situations where I wish he would have seen Peyton Manning operate. Like I wish he would have seen Peyton Manning say, hey, we're not doing that. Like just because that's how you should be and can be of a quarterback. But when you're 22, it's difficult. But as you get older, you kind of become the person everybody looks to and looks at. And I said Jason Kelce because that's probably the person in Philly that they're relying on.
Yep.
And then Cox on the defensive side, right? They're like, hey, these are the 2 guys we keep around. Then they hand over the game, hopefully, the way you are as an Eagle or as you are as a Colt. And Chris Ballard said, we want to build this culture and then we'll bring people in.